All right, so we have a question here from Gordon Gecko, and the question is, AMP futures use CQG order routing service, and they don't use Teton order routing service. What's the disadvantage of using CQG order routing, or routing service? I'm sorry, order routing service. There we go. So basically, you're gonna have two basic disadvantages with CQG versus Teton, and one is going to be you're not going to have access to you're not going to have as much access to historical data as you would with Teton, since Teton actually uses Denali, right? So Teton is just the order routing service, and CQG, they give you data and they facilitate the orders. But with CQG, with Sierra Chart, and this is dealing with Sierra Chart, so if you are trading on CQG's platform or another platform that allows historical data, make sure my mic is on, okay, that allows historical data, then you may be fine with all this. You may be able to get all the historical data that you want. But if you're using CQG with Sierra Chart, then you're going to have issues, or you're not going to be able to, you're going to be limited to how much historical data that you can download and use, right? So that's going to be one kind of disadvantage. Another disadvantage is technically Teton is faster. Now, I do use both. I have an account with AMP, right? An account with through EdgeClear using Teton, and it is faster. So, but it's not like extremely fast. So if it's not like a huge difference, but there is a difference. So Teton is faster. So you can, if speed is like a super important thing to you, then you're going to have a slight disadvantage, like a very, very slight disadvantage with CQG versus Teton if you're using Sierra Chart, right? So all this has to do with Sierra Chart at the end of the day. If you're not using Sierra Chart, then you probably want to go with CQG. I mean, that's pretty much what we're talking about. We're really talking about Sierra Chart. So now, so that's basically the real disadvantage. And another kind of disadvantage is if you want to use Teton and you go through I have a person that will, help you get everything set up. So if I have a contact, there we go. I have a contact for EdgeClear that'll help anybody that I refer to them get set up. And this is not a sponsored video or anything like that. But they did reach out to me and said that they will, help anybody that's interested in trading with Teton. They will help them get set up, and you'll get like, cheaper commissions than if you didn't go through my referral, or there's other people that have referrals, but anybody that I refer, you get lower commissions. And there's a specific person, a specific contact that can help you out. So, and he's very quick to respond. If you're interested in signing up, or if you're interested in using Teton, then you can just reach out to me on Discord or email me, and I'll give you that contact. Maybe I'll put it in the description. I don't know yet. Anyway, but yeah, so you could do that. But yeah, so if you're interested in signing up with Teton, or if you're interested in using Teton and you want to go through EdgeClear, now EdgeClear has 3 FCMs, and FCM is just futures merchant. What is it? Futures commission merchant. And basically they just handle your orders, right? So if you sign up with EdgeClear, if you open an account with EdgeClear, it's either going to be Philip Capital, what's the other one? Dorman Trading, and then there's one more. Let me find it. And the other one is Iron Beam, right? So those are your 3. Now I opened an account with Philip Capital, and the other one so if you're looking for, they don't have the cheapest margin requirements in the world, right? So they offer 25% off whatever CME sets as the margin requirement. That's Philip Capital. They said if you need cheaper commissions than that, if you're looking for cheaper margins than that, then Dorman Trading is the one that you'll want to open an account with. And then I don't know a whole lot about Iron Beam because I didn't try to open an account with them or anything like that. I used one of their platforms years ago, but other than that, I don't have an account with them, right? So, and the process to get all that set up is really simple. One day I actually make a video probably of going through that whole step, but that's basically, so if you want the 25% off the CME's I keep saying commissions. If you want 25% off of CME's margin requirements, then Philip Capital is the one they recommend. If you're looking for cheaper margin requirements, it's still not going to be as cheap as AMP or these other low cost, brokers that offer the really cheap, the dirt cheap margin requirements like Tradeovate, right? But it's going to be cheaper than Phillip Capital. So Dorman Trading is the one that you're going to go for if you're trying to use Teton and you want the cheaper margin requirements, right? So you did mention AMP is only, allowing you to use CQG, and they have other ones. They have TT, I think, that's still, and maybe Rhythmic, but the main one is CQG. That's the one you talked about here. That one, with them, I reached out to them when Teton was coming out, and basically like they have no interest in it because it's too new, and they said it's like basically that it's not tried yet. They don't have enough experience with different market conditions and when things get really volatile and how they're going to handle all that because they're so new. They're saying they're so fast because they're so new. Basically, they're not interested at all of using Teton anytime soon. I don't know if they ever will. So if you want to go with AMP, then you're not going to have access to Teton, but you still can trade on Sierra chart. You're still going to have Denali because you're going to have data issues if you don't have Denali. And that's how you'll get access to your historical data. But what you have to do, so if you open an account with AMP and you use CQG, if you want to get, let's say, if you want to go back 2 years for your historical data, then you're going to have to log out of your CQG data service, the server settings, right? And you got to log into basically, I forgot what it's called, but the Denali data. You got to log into the Denali data to get the historical data, right? But you just won't have, you still be able to, you won't be able to trade on it, but you'll be able to do all your back testing and whatever you need the historical data for. So those are your main differences. That's everything that's pretty much answers the questions that you ask. Also, the second question of, do you know any broker that has low margins for trading micro futures that work with Sierra chart? And just for Sierra chart, AMP is probably going to be your cheapest one. They used to do Tradeovate. I don't think Tradeovate works anymore. And, Edge Clear, they're not as cheap as AMP is. But Sierra chart does have a page where they recommend other brokers, so you can check them out as well, right? And I think you can actually open an account with Iron Beam without even going through Edge Clear. But so that's basically the options that you have for brokers with Sierra chart. The easiest way, if you already have Sierra chart, is just to go, really the easiest way is to go to sierrachart.com and then look for the brokers that they recommend, right? Those are going to be and you can go to them and ask them, you can try to find out of the ones that they recommend, who has the cheapest margin requirements. All right. So hope that answers all your questions. If you have any more questions, just go ahead and leave those in the comments. And thanks for the question. Trade it easy.